Speaker, I thank the chairman. I suggest that someone's been missing from this debate, the forgotten man or woman, the everyday taxpayer who's being asked to carry a risk that those in the private sector will not. In 2008, we learned a tough lesson about privatizing profits and socializing losses. During the good times, many in Congress cheered on Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and their shareholders prospered while executives made millions. But when the good times ended, the taxpayers were forced to bail out Fannie and Freddie to the tune of $187 billion. The federal government is today the guarantor of more than $3 trillion in loans backed by numerous agencies. This level of taxpayer leverage is not sustainable, and we must begin to identify parts of the portfolio that can be transitioned away from the taxpayers. Given that 98% of our exports are made without the Export-Import Bank, the bank is one agency that is suitable for transition over time to the private sector. However, in the immediate future, Congress must act to protect taxpayers. For example, in this reauthorization, Congress could insist that these loans be fully collateralized, just as is the practice in the private sector. Congress could also require exporters who profit from the bank's lending to foreign purchasers of their products to guarantee repayment of all or even a fraction of these loans. If phased in smartly, reforms like these would mitigate the potential for the type of $3 billion bailout that XM saw in 1980. And would also incentivize our trade representatives to actually initiate negotiations with our trading partners to eliminate all government's export subsidies and protect the taxpayer from potential losses, just like they were supposed to do in the last reauthorization. Without these common sense reforms, it is the taxpayer, the forgotten man or woman, and not the entity that made the profit who is on the hook for the loss. For that reason, I urge my colleagues to vote no so that real reform proposals for this institution may be pursued. I thank the Speaker and I yield back.